Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global TV. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now the news in full. The special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on policy coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman, has warned that the president will sack ministers who fail to perform their duties. Usman said Tinubu is poised to deliver on his promise of making life better and easier for Nigerians. The presidential aide issued the warning at the opening of the technical retreat for delivery decks of officers of federal ministries on implementation of presidential priorities and ministerial deliverables in Uyo, Akwa Ibom state capital. Usman called for the total commitment of delivery officers and directors of planning in ministries who were present at the retreat, admonishing them to get serious with their jobs. In the wake of the prevailing bloodletting in the country, Vice President Kashim Shettima has reminded Nigerians that ending insecurity in the nation remained the cardinal agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration. Shettima spoke at the opening of a two-day roundtable on insecurity in northern Nigeria with the theme Multi-Dimensional Approach to Tackling Insecurity in Northern Nigeria, organized by the Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG, in Abuja. His declaration got the buy-in of the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, who expressed confidence that the battle against insecurity could be won. Shettima, who was presented by his Deputy Chief of Staff, Senator Ibrahim Hassan, assured Nigerians that the federal government will not relent in tackling insecurity in the nation and called for the collaborative effort in taming the menace. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has described education as key to achieving lasting peace in Nigeria. Tinubu said this in a statement to mark this year's annual International Day of Education, saying this year's theme of learning for lasting peace is appropriate. She said building a more peaceful future rests on the nation's commitment to pursuing quality education. She therefore urged Nigerians to embrace transformative learning and invest more in inclusivity that instill in children the values of peace and tolerance to build a Nigeria of peace, progress, and prosperity for all. Over now to the Minister of State for Education, Yusuf Sanunu, said on Wednesday in Yola that the federal government has redoubled efforts to ensure out-of-school children are returned and retained in school. The minister stated this at the inauguration of the National Campaign on Out-of-School Children 2024 for 4 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Said this was to achieve a better society. Represented by Joy Onoja, the Federal Ministry's Deputy Director of Basic Education, Sanunu said a significant number of children in the country were still deprived of their fundamental rights to education. Still on the news, the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development is partnering with the Global Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, EITI, to drive reforms in the sector. Alake disclosed this while receiving a delegation of EITI led by Dr. Bonaya Oji, the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI. On Wednesday in Abuja, Alake expressed federal government's commitment to work with EITI and EITI to advance economic-driven strides in the solid mineral sector. He said that the government was determined to reposition the solid minerals sector to boost Nigerians' revenue profile while also creating job opportunities for the teeming unemployed youths. And still on AM News, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have demanded to see the death certificate of a former director of Legal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Grace Tiaga. Tiaga's lawyer, Daniel Alumun, had on Wednesday 4, 2023 informed the Federal Capital Territory High Court that his client had died. Tiaga is standing trial before Justice Olukayode Adeniyi on allegations bordering on bribery in the controversial gas supply processing agreement between Process and Industrial Development and the federal government of Nigeria. EFCC claimed that she violated various laws by entering into agreement without the approval of the Federal Executive Council and without obtaining a certificate of no objection to the contract from the Bureau of Public Enterprise. And now on Chairman CEO of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, and the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, has commended the synergy between the two law enforcement agencies, saying the collaboration is a strong warning to drug cartels and they will continue to lose their investments in the criminal trade. The duo spoke at the Tinkan Seaport in Lagos when the Customs CG led his team to hand over illicit drugs seized during joint examination by NDLEA, Customs and other security agencies of containers. The anti-narcotic agency had been tracking based on credible intelligence from international partners. In his remark, Mara, who was represented by the agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, said the handing over of seized illicit drugs is a development that speaks volume about the diligence of security agencies tasked with securing the country. The Police Service Commission, PSC, has approved the appointment of new officers and the promotion of 1,897 senior officers to their next substantive ranks. The head of press and public relations of the commission, Ikechukwu Ani, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. He said the commission approved the appointment of Dasuki Galadensi, the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 12, Bauchi, as a Deputy Inspector General of Police to represent the Northwest geopolitical zone of the country. The commission promoted 14 commissioners of police to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police, 21 deputy commissioners of police to commissioners of police, assistant commissioners of police to deputy commissioners of police, and 109 chief superintendents of police to assistant commissioners of police. And now in the Federal Capital Territory, Police Command has debunked reports of bomb blasts in the Maitama district of the territory on Wednesday. In a statement by its spokesperson, Josephine Ade, a superintendent of police, the police said it was an explosion caused by an overheated metal refuse container activated under intense heat. Reports indicated earlier in the day that there was a bomb blast in the federal capital. The police explained that the explosion occurred at a dump site outside the Bureau of Public Enterprise, BPE, premises, inflicting injury of 2 refuse evacuators who are currently receiving medical attention in Maitama General Hospital. And still on, the FCT Police Command said it had arrested another suspected kidnapper as its Special Intervention Squad takes more steps to protect residents. The Commissioner of Police in charge of the Federal Capital Territory, Haruna Garba, made this known while briefing newsmen in Abuja. He said that the suspect was arrested in Sauka village on January 21st and the kidnapped victims were rescued. The CP explained that police operatives from Ido Division received a distress call that came armed men in a black Toyota Corolla fired the tires of the moving Prado Jeep of one Suleiman Sabo. Garber said the victim has been admitted to the hospital and is responding to treatment. Still on, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has enlisted the support of traditional rulers to strengthen the fight against insecurity in the federal capital. Wike said during a security meeting with the FCT Council of Chiefs and the chairman of 6 area councils in Abuja on Wednesday said the support was critical to winning the war against criminal elements. He assured residents that the government was not sleeping but doing everything possible to address the challenges. According to him, there is a need for a strong synergy between the government and traditional rulers to win the war against insecurity. And now the Supreme Court has upheld the election of Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State. The court, in a unanimous decision by a 5-member panel led by Justice Kudirat Kekere Edu, on Thursday dismissed as lacking in merit an appeal the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Tonye Cole, filed to challenge the outcome of the governorship election that held in the state on March 18, 2023. In a led judgment that was delivered by Justice Ibrahim Salawa, the Apex Court said it found no reason to dislodge the concurrent verdict of the Court of Appeal and the Rivers State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal, which upheld Fubara's victory at the poll. And still on, the Supreme Court on Thursday affirmed Agbo Kefas of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as a valid winner of the governorship election that held in Taraba State on March 18, 2023. The Apex Court, in its led judgment that was delivered by Justice Mohammed Garba, dismissed as incompetent an appeal that was filed by the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, and its governorship candidate in the state, Professor Sani Yahaya. The Apex Court, in a unanimous decision by a 5-member panel, held that NNPP and its candidate filed an incomplete record of appeal. The Supreme Court on Thursday affirmed the election of Ahmed Aliyu as Sokoto State Governor. Delivering the lead judgment of a 5-member panel of the court, Tijani Abubakar dismissed the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its governorship candidate, Seidu Umar. And over now to Ondo State House of Assembly on Thursday screened the confirmed Olayede Adelamu as the Deputy Governor of Ondo State. The development came 24 hours after the Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa picked Adelamu as the Deputy Governor nominee and sent his name to the Assembly for screening and approval. The Assembly confirmed the nominee after consideration of a report by the House Election Committee presided over by the Speaker, Olumide Oladeji, during the plenary session of the Assembly. And now on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC says all is set for the Akoko Northeast and Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency election scheduled for February 3rd in Ondo State. The State Resident Electoral Commission, Olutoyin Babalola, said in Akure that non-sensitive materials had been received from INEC headquarters and sent to the two local government areas. Babalola, who spoke on the sideline of a two-day training for supervisory presiding officers, SPOs, at the INEC office in Akure, said that adequate number of voter accreditation system BVAS machines had been configured for the election to hold in 329 polling units. And you're watching the News AM coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When AM News return, prices of rice up by 81% in 2023, says National Bureau of Statistics. The news continues shortly with details and more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of AM News. Thank you for staying with us. The Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Thursday said the construction of 4th Mainland Bridge will begin in the 4th quarter of this year by the end of March or April. The governor disclosed this in his keynote address during the Lagos West Senatorial District Town Hall meeting held at the Balmoral Convention Center, Sheraton, Ikeja. Sanwo-Olu noted that the bridge will be constructed in phases while promising that landlords and tenants of structures demolished during the construction will be duly compensated. Similarly, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Thursday said the Lagos Red Line Rail would be unveiled in February. The governor, who spoke at the Lagos West Senatorial District Town Hall meeting held at the Balmoral Convention Center, Sheraton, Ikeja, said the state government had written officially to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, informing him of the planned unveiling in February. And now on our foreign decks, International Court of Justice will on Friday rule on provisional requests from South Africa in a case accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza. A press statement by the court said a public sit-in will take place at 1 p.m. at the Peace Palace in The Hague, during which Judge Joanne Danogu, the president of the court, will read the court's order. Both countries presented their arguments at the ICJ on 10th and 11th January, where South Africa's lawyers said Israel and its agencies are intentional about wiping out entire families in Gaza. Responding to South Africa, Israel said it was acting in self-defense and blamed Hamas for woes of people in the Gaza Strip. South Africa also requested the court to approve provisional measures to protect against further severe and irreparable harm to the rights of the Palestinian people under the Genocide Convention. The European Union, EU, has said it will invest 18 million euros to fund vaccine research in Nigeria. The head of the EU delegation to Nigerian ECOWAS, Ambassador Samala Isopi, described this in Abuja at the presentation of the National Plan for Vaccine Research and Development and Local Production 2024-2034. The plan was developed by the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRD, with support from the EU and Bulgaria government. Isopi, who was represented by Professor Leila Mateo, said that the EU was aligned with the nation's priorities, adding that the development of the plan was timely and could not come at a better moment. She said that the Minister of State for Health was also taking the plan to the highest level with the EU to discuss other parts of it. And over to our business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has constructed a 150 million litres storage facility for the Port Harcourt refining company ahead of full operations of the plant. The company stated on Wednesday it said the storage facility was constructed in Atlas Cove, adding that the company had signed build, operate and transfer agreements for the rehabilitation of pipelines and storage facilities nationwide. The National Oil Company revealed that its retail arm distributed about 14 billion litres of white products in 2023. The company further stated that an aviation arm had been created that would supply fuel to 3 international carriers, adding that more airlines will be served in due course. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is investigating at least $347 billion allocated to companies in Nigeria between January 2014 and June 2023. This came as fresh findings show that the Anti-Graft Agency had exceeded its forex allocation probe to include some foreign firms operating in Nigeria. However, the Central Bank of Nigeria data revealed that local and foreign companies in Nigeria got at least $347.49 billion from the Apex Court to service their foreign exchange needs and obligations within the 10-year period. And still on AM News, Nigeria's national power grid collapsed 46 times from 2017 to 2023. A report by the International Energy Agency said on Wednesday. According to the report, Nigerians endured more nationwide blackouts in 2023, especially on September 14th when the grid collapsed due to a fire on a major transmission line. The IEA said Nigerians had grappled with recurrent power failures, totaling 46 grid collapses between 2017 and 2023. Nigerians' grid continued to face issues due to aged infrastructure and vandalism. The federal government has set a tax revenue target of 19.4 trillion naira for 2024. This is as the Federal Inland Revenue Service collected a record of 12.37 trillion naira in tax revenue for the Federation in 2023, surpassing the year's target of 10.7 trillion naira. According to the chairman, FIRS, Dr. George Adedeji, the new target is achievable because of an effective tax collection system and a viable economic environment for business to prosper. Given a breakdown of the figures, one of the agency's coordinating directors, Amina Ado, described that oil revenue accounted for 3.17 trillion naira of the total, representing 25.6%, while non-oil revenue was 74.4% at 9.2 trillion naira. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has said the Nigerian Railway Corporation generated 1.49 billion naira in revenue from passengers in Q3 of 2023. This is contained in the NBS rail transportation data for Q3 and Q4 2023 released Thursday in Abuja. The figure increased by 108.25% compared to 715.09 million naira generated in Q3 of 2023. Similarly, 286.78 million naira was collected in Q3 2023 as revenue from goods and cargo. This increased by 181.58% from 101.84 million naira received in Q3 2022. The number of rail transport passengers in Q3 2023 increased to 594,348. This is higher than the 500,348 recorded in Q3 2022, representing a growth of 18.79%. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says the stage in Nigeria's economic transformation roadmap shows the country is currently in the stabilization phase. The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso assented the Nigerian Economic Summit Group NESG 2024 Microeconomic Outlook launch on Wednesday in Lagos. The CBN Governor noted that the NESG's focus on a roadmap resonates with the CBN's recently launched strategy, suggesting that both plans share similar visions for Nigeria's economic future. He named the Apex Bank roadmap for achieving its mandate as ensuring monetary price and financial system stability as a catalyst for inclusive growth and sustainable development. Cardoso noted that CBN's strategy, which had 3 core themes, price stability, a robust financial system, and good governance, aligned well with the NESG's call for distinct interconnected phase in its roadmap. The National Bureau of Statistics has disclosed that the average price of 1 kg local rice increased by 81.35% on a year-on-year basis to 917.93 naira in December 2023. This indicates that the price of rice, which is a staple food item in Nigeria, has increased by 411.76 naira when compared to the corresponding price of 506.17 naira recorded in December 2022. The NBS reported that the average price of 1 kg tomato rose by 77.60% on a YOY basis from 458.42 naira in December 2022 to 814.16 naira in December 2023. On a month-on-month basis, it increased by 732% from 758.65 naira in November 2023 to 814.16 naira in December 2023. The Benin Electricity Distribution Company has said the power problem being experienced by its customers is beyond its control. The BEDC told its customers in Delta, Edo, Ekiti, and Ondo State that the reduction in supply hours was due to limitations in allocations from the national grid. Poor power supply being experienced nationwide was a result of continuous drop in the national power grid. The Eco Electricity Distribution Company had blamed the situation on the gas shortage and other issues, as Nigerians have been complaining of power outage since December 2023. Yet the issue have remained without any improvement. Over down to sports, President Bola Tinubu has urged the Super Eagles to improve their performance and do better in the final stage of the ongoing African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. Tinubu's message was through the Minister of Sports, John Eno, who spoke to the players from Abuja via Zoom on Wednesday night in Abidjan. Responding team captain Ahmed Musa thanked the sports minister, but also called on the president to come to see them play live, saying it will serve as a motivation to the players. The Super Eagles will play the indomitable Lions of Cameroon in the last 16 of the tournament on Saturday at the Felix Hamred-Bonge Stadium in Abidjan. Still on sports, the chairman Nigerian Premier Football League NPFL Youth League Committee, Emeka Iyama, has called on the clubs to ensure proper documentation of their players ahead of screening scheduled for January 31st. Iyama, who stated this on Thursday in Lagos, said that proper documentation was required to avoid players being disqualified due to negligence of their clubs. He said that clubs are expected to arrive at January 30th to commence the screening, adding that the zonal qualifiers will take place on February 1st to 3rd. The NPFL Youth League will be held in 5 centers: Enugu for Southeast teams and Lafia for North Central teams. Others are Sabah for South-South teams, Ekiti for Southwest teams, and Kaduna for Northwest and Northeast teams. And that's it on AM News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Jumai Manson. See you again.